At long last, I have finally watched. And yeah, as the title suggests, I have finally watched Invincible. It did take some time for me to finally decide to give it a shot and just watch it, and whoa. So when I start watching the first season, I couldn't help myself and just watch the second and the third season within days. So this is a full-on review that contains spoilers for season 1, 2 and 3. Before I get into the review, I just want to say that I didn't have any knowledge about Invincible. Like, I didn't know there was a comic. It was based on a comic. I never heard of it. The first time I heard of Invincible was through the memes, especially Omni-Man, Think Mark meme. That's how I knew. Of course, the voice actors that know J.K. Simmons was well known. First season, I must say the characters of Mark, Omni-Man, Debbie, basically all of them are great characters, interesting ones. I really love how the storylines are spread out, reconnects in the end, sooner or later. Each episode doesn't feel like filler or something, it all feels connected, and that I really liked. First season follows Mark Grayson that gets his powers, son of Earth's strongest superhero, Omni-Man, and yeah, he's trying to find his identity, focusing on school, studies, the normal life, and his superhero journey. First whole season is basically the main story arc is a murder mystery. Someone killed the Guardians of the Globe, basically Justice League. It was Omni-Man who killed them. We lead to the confrontation where he explains why he did it. The main mission was not to help planet Earth. It was to bring the planet Earth and the humans to the Viltrum Empire. And then they have this fight. Mark says he cares and loves his father, and Omni-Man suddenly gets a change of heart and disappears flies off Earth. That's basically how the first season ends. It was very good. I really enjoyed the whole mystery storyline. But overall, the whole season was great, and I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Now going over to the second season. And I must say, it's good, but not as great as the first season. I mean, I like the development, Mark trying to find out the relationship with Amber and all that. I think it's dragged on a bit too long. The story doesn't flow as good as the first season. The main villain of this season, Engstrom, I thought he was a fine villain. Then it got me interesting until Anissa arrived. The whole thing with Viltrumite storyline, for me, is always interesting compared to the other storylines. So I'm looking forward to see Anissa return, hopefully. But I'm not so much a big fan of the whole multiverse story arc. So I'm giving season 2 7 out of 10. And then we have season 3. I must say is much better than the second season. Even though I noticed that the quality of the animation has dropped by, it's not as great as before. Finally, Mark and Adam Eve is getting together, and I'm like, yes, finally, at last. And they just feel so much better, more natural as a couple. The season was fine as the flow. I feel like the Invincible nowadays are saving their budget for the final 2 episodes, the big finale. Rightfully so. I mean, the whole conquest, arrival and fighting with Mark is stopped here. Season 3 was a step up from season 2. But still not as great as season 1 in my opinion. But it's an 8 out of 10. The story got a bit more interesting, but like I said, the main story of the Viltrumite Empire is what made me most interesting of. But yeah, I'm looking forward now to season 4. Those were my thoughts of Invincible season 1 to 3 so far. Comment down below, and thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.